Yeah. Yes. All right. We are live on YouTube. How's everybody doing today? How are you all doing today? It's a little bit windy on the trail. I hope you can hear me, or a little windy on the way to the trail, which is what I'm trying to say. But it's not that bad, so you should be able to hear me just fine. Michael Portnoy, to no surprise. How you doing, Michael Portnoy? I gotta say that my spidey sense is typically 99.9% right. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna jerk your chain today, Michael Portnoy. But you're like the first one here for all these walking streams. As far as the in-studio streams, you tend to not make those. But I seem to get more trolls during my in-studio streams than my my walking streams. But I'm just going to leave it at that. It is what it is. Anyway, folks, it's a little bit of a windy day here today, but again, it's not crazy windy, but it's constant wind. So I hope you can hear me okay. Let me know how the audio is coming through right now. Should be all right. Let's see. Lewis and Anna were here before the show started. Thank you for your likes. And my collar on my workout outfit here may be getting pushed up by the wind, so pardon my presentation. I'm out and about and got to deal with the elements in the environment accordingly, right? Got some people that are coming down with their bikes, so we're going to just wait for them to pass on by. I have a very important and interesting topic here today to discuss, and it was inspired by what one of my moderators behind the scenes is currently going through. That is Dion, aka Sifu Smo Channel. And Dion is an early 30s millennial dude. Good guy, we all love him. He's got a 25-year-old girlfriend that unexpectedly got pregnant about a month ago, and you know, he's been dealing with an unexpected life-changing event. He's also dealing with those emotions that normally come from a woman when she's not pregnant, but about 10 times greater when she is pregnant. And man, I mean, I'm 48 years old, and I think I understand women, or I feel I understand women as best as possible at this age. But even in my early 30s, I still didn't know as much as I know today and how to handle it as well as I do today. So I can only imagine what this dude's going through right now that his woman's pregnant, let alone a normal level of a woman's emotions for a man in his early 30s. And we're with you, Dion, and we love you, and we love what we've heard about your lady. She seems to be a decent lady. And we're here to help you in any way possible. And speaking of that, I reached out to Dion, the Sifu Smo channel, earlier today through the Coach Eli private moderator group page, or group chat, sorry, on Facebook. And I was asking him if he wanted to go live tonight on my other channel, Coach Eli 2 on Censored Live Streams, around 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, and talk with my lady and I, and, you know, talk this out, and really get an idea of what this guy is going through in his early 30s with an unexpected pregnancy. I think this is something that we can create some great content on, Dion, to help people. Not only on my channels, but on your channel as well. And this is something that a lot of people are not talking about. Even, many men and women are not ready for a family in their mid to late 20s or early 30s, and when an unexpected pregnancy happens, even though they're both adults, an unexpected pregnancy is typically something that neither side was ready for. And how do you handle that? How do you deal with that? What are your options? What should you do, right? So I'm waiting to hear back from Dion. I cannot promise you folks that there will be a show tonight on Coach Eli 2. It is a possibility. If Dion cannot make it, then we'll do it another time and I'll take the night off. God, I hate these days when it's a little bit windier than normal. At least it's not as warm as it was on the trail yesterday. It's about 75 degrees here today. But windy. Yesterday, it was almost 80 degrees, and it was closer to 90 degrees once I got finished on the trail. I'm doing well, sir, says Michael Portnoy. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'd like to say hello to everyone watching behind the scenes, my moderators. Sometimes I have moderators that don't chat because they're multitasking on something else or they're at work. And also, thank you to my 2 channel managers that I know are watching today. I appreciate you and all the work that you've done to, get my channels where they're at today. And just know to everyone that your continued support and dedication isn't going unnoticed and unrecognized. I thank each and every one of you. Oh, what was I going to say? Yeah, if we end up doing that show tonight, I forgot my lady has a job interview at around 5 o'clock Pacific or so. So if we were to do that show, it wouldn't start until about 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. So I'm just going to wait to hear back from Dion. And if I have no answer by about 4 or 5 o'clock Pacific, which is 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern, then we'll just do it another time. No worries, just throwing it out there. I really want to help him, and I think many other people, or I feel many other people can learn from his experience as well. And that's what I do here, folks. I share my own personal experiences. My lady shares her own personal experiences. And we lead by example, and we want to hear your stories, your real life stories, and compare them to ours. So that way, we can help you learn things a little bit quicker than we initially learned, right? Because it took me 48 years to figure this shit out, right? Maybe for you, you could figure it out in your 20s and have a 20-year jump start on the future of your success compared to, what I experienced, right? Now, I'm not saying I haven't been successful. I have. But had I known 20 years ago what I know now, I would have been 10 times more successful. Do I beat myself up on the head for this? Every now and then, sure, I think about it, but I don't let it get me because it is what it is, right? But if I can help, hey everyone, I'm back. We're back. I got cut off. I saw some buffering on the screen. I think YouTube's having some server issues in my area because the app was running a little bit slow from the 5G tower where I'm at, and it started to buffer. I saw the circle spinning on my screen here, so I just shut it down and restart it. So if there are any issues, folks, just let me know in the chat, and I'll try to correct them as best as possible according to the internet conditions, etc. I'm here, but my internet sucks, so you keep buffering. I don't think it's your end. I think there's an issue with the YouTube live streaming server, the mobile live streaming server today. Or it could be the cell tower here in this area. It could be overloaded. I work long hours. I get to appreciate your walking tours. Awesome, bro. Thank you for that. Can you hear me clearly and see me clearly now? Let me know if everything's rolling smoothly, folks. And we will get right to it. And moderators, please pay close attention to the chat. It's all good. Arabella, hello, sir. Arabella, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. Here legitimately, or are you trolling? Trolling. I paid too much attention to some trolls last night. I had a little fun with them, and so did my lady on a stream we did on Coach Eli 2 Uncensored live streams last night. And in case you folks, my lady and I did a 2-hour stream. It started, I believe, around midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific. I know most people couldn't make it live. It was a bit too late, but it was a great show for about almost 2.5 hours. And if you missed it, just you can go to my community tab here on this channel. I shared a link to the actual stream, or you can go to Coach Eli 2 Uncensored live streams directly. Nightbot's sharing the link in the chat every 7 minutes. The link is also below in the description. And while you're there, subscribe and bang the bell and select the notifications, and you won't miss anything. Check it out. It was a really good stream. And Mama Goonie was on there last night in the chat. And we made amends with Mama Goonie, and we moderated her. I still need to moderate here on the main channel, but Mama Goonie's back, by the way. For those of you that know who Mama Goonie is, Michelle, a.k.a. Mama Goonie Channel, she's back. I'm good, sir. I just woke up. Good morning from Philippines. Oh, Arabella, you found out about me through RJ Sandifer, right? Through our blind YouTuber friend, RJ Sandifer, right? I'm sorry about calling you a troll. I think you've been here before, and I think it was RJ Sandifer that introduced us. Welcome to the show. Great to have you here. Can somebody give me an audio check and a video check? No one's answering. I just want to make sure that the audio and video is coming through. It's a little windy today on the trail, and also there were some YouTube live streaming server issues. Yes, right, sir. It is my pleasure. Well, thank you so much. It's my pleasure to have you here. It's a great pleasure to have you here, which is what I'm trying to say. Thank you for being here. I hope things are going well for you in the Philippines. Life here in the United States is getting more and more expensive each and every day due to this damn inflation. Milk is going up, food's going up, gas keeps going up at an all-time high. Oh man, we are heading towards an economic recession. Another one. How many of you in the chat feel we are right around the corner from another recession? Put a 1 in the chat if you feel we're heading towards recession. Put a 2 if you think that something will be done to prevent another recession from happening. I don't see how we're going to be able to prevent having another recession. You know, Biden releasing all those barrels of oil from our reserves hasn't done shit. The price hasn't gone down. The price keeps going up on gas. And it maybe, who knows, maybe it might have gone up more had he not released those emergency barrels from our reserves. I've never seen anything like this. In my opinion, I think it's price gouging. I think people are taking advantage of this war in the Ukraine and just finding an excuse to raise prices, right? I mean, is that war really affecting, you know, prices for things that we are using, right? Does Russia and the Ukraine have that much of a supply that affects the rest of the entire world to the point of where, you know, prices have just gone way up? I can understand it. Prices went up a little bit, but I mean, shit, gas prices have doubled, like literally doubled, right? I mean, we're nearing $7 a gallon gas here in California, and typically gas has been around $3.50 to $4 a gallon. Yeah, during these times, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, right? Go figure. And who pays the most? The middle class, right? People like you and me that are middle class, right? Wow. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Who's Brandon, bro? I'm not quite sure who you're talking about. Let's go, Brandon. Michael Portnoy. All right, folks. Let's get right to it. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. The Walking with Purpose live edition, live from the San Francisco Bay Trail here in beautiful, sunny, and a little bit windy Redwood City, California. This is episode number 295 of these. Wow. And today we're going to be talking about traditional conservative men, TRADCONs, known as TRADCONs, versus well-balanced modern men. One more time, the topic of today's stream is traditional conservative men, also known as TRADCONs, versus well-balanced modern men. What is the difference? Now, I understand that this discussion is going to stir up some controversy. I understand that. And it's going to stir up controversy amongst the different political parties, which I think is BS in the first place. Because, like I've always said in the past, I really don't feel we should have different political parties. I think we should have government, but all be on the same page, right? Because when you have different parties, you're going to have lots of fighting, and it's just going to create a lot of chaos, and you're going to waste more time and money fighting each other than getting the shit done that we need to get done. That's my opinion, and has always been my opinion regarding the political party system. As far as government, I've always believed in it. Without government, we'd be shooting each other. We'd all be dead. That's another opinion I have, and I've always had that, right? Excuse me a second. I need to clear my throat. It's allergy season. I did take my Allegra but it only helps so much, right? I'm just waiting for this gentleman to walk on by. All right, let's get back on the trail. Now, I have many liberal friends, many conservative friends, many moderate friends, people down the middle. And I don't have any alt-right friends, but there are a lot of alt-right people, and I really, to be honest with you, don't value the opinion of the fake made-up party by the Trump supporters, the alternative right, known as the alt-right. So today we're going to be speaking basically, conservative people and liberal people and people more so down the middle. And even if you're more so down the middle, kind of like myself, people down the middle typically lean more towards one side or the other. I lean a little more left. Other people that are a part of my group behind the scenes with the moderators, a lot of them are also down the middle, which is what I'm trying to say, but a lot of them lean a little more to the right, or some lean a little more to the left, right? Now, I do believe in some traditional, views. I do believe that some aspects of traditionalism should still come into play in the modern world when it comes to dating, relationships, and marriage. But to live a complete traditional conservative, also known as TRADCON life in 2022, to me, in my opinion, I feel is ridiculous and not typical. And it's also living in the past and not willing to adapt to change. There are a lot of men out there nowadays that are not willing to adapt to change. Now, some change is good, and other changes are not so good. Again, we're living in a progressive world, and I understand that and support that, but I only support certain aspects of progression, not all aspects of progression. Some aspects of progression I feel are ridiculous. But when it comes to relationships between a man and a woman, I honestly feel the best place for every man to be is a well-balanced modern man, not being a TRADCON. And here's my opinion regarding the differences. A TRADCON is somebody that's going to have traditional old school values and live their life like couples lived their life in the 50s and before that time, before women were liberated, and during a period of time where women were not working and they were dependent on a man completely for survival. Those were different times back then, right? Nowadays, we know women are liberated and they're working and making their own money, buying their own homes and cars, yada, yada, yada. Been through that before. Explained that before. I don't have to go through that again. I think you get the point, right? But a lot of people, many men nowadays still are living in the past. Now, if I was born and raised during the traditional days, would I have done things totally traditionally? Probably not. Because here's the thing for me. The way that I look at a woman as my life partner, I look at her as not only my best lover, but my best friend, my partner in crime, right? And the way a lot of the traditional conservative men, in my opinion, look at women is they look at women as their slave. They look at women as, a doormat. They look at women as a servant, right? And technically, in essence, That's what women used to be, even though I never looked at women in that way. Before women were liberated, they were basically servants to their man, right? And to their family, while the man would go out and, make money and bring home the bacon, right? Again, I've never looked at women in that way, right? I've never looked at women as slaves. I've never looked at women as, the way they were back in the days of traditionalism, right? So even if I lived during that time, I would have never wanted a woman to be so subservient to me as many women were back then, and as some women still are nowadays, because there are men out here that still believe in those traditional conservative ways of the past, right? So, that's what a traditional conservative guy is. Now, I'm going to get more into what I feel a well-balanced modern man is, which is what I consider myself. I consider myself to be a well-balanced modern man. But let me check out the chat real quick. And I'm going to have to reset the chat because I think it's frozen and I'm sure there are more messages, so I'll be right back. All right, we are back. We are back. Hang on a second here. Michael Portnoy, sorry, I had an important phone call to take what I missed, Coach. You're going to have to go back and watch the replay, Michael. Sorry, man. I'm not going to backtrack. My apologies, man. Michael Portnoy says, Trump 2024, he'll never go back in the office, bro. I'm sorry. That's the worst thing that can happen to this country. That's just my opinion. I stand tall on that. That's a cure to all cures. You're saying Donald J. Trump is a cure to all cures? And do you want me to go back, Michael, and say how he decided to go golfing instead of handling the pandemic? And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, before they even got into office, that 2-month waiting period, how they started tackling the pandemic. They started tackling the pandemic before they even got into office. I don't get it, dude. How in the world can you respect a man that decides to go golfing over addressing the seriousness of the pandemic? Like, I don't understand some people. Like, no disrespect, Michael. That's an honest and fair question. How can you support a man that incited an insurrection at our nation's capital? And he did that, right? Right? I mean, seriously, man. Obviously, you probably consider yourself to be more conservative, but honestly, if you support Trump, Michael Portnoy, then you're more so on the alternative right. You're on the alt-right. Those are very honest questions for you folks to answer. And that's not me being a slight left liberal or down the middle. That's me just asking you a very reasonable question. How can you support somebody or want somebody back in office that doesn't really give a shit about the best overall interest of the entire country and everyone? He only cares about himself and his pocketbook and his fame and glory. It's my opinion, but it should be a fact because that's what he did and that's what he does. I mean, I speak clearly and directly and honestly. Those are the facts. Blame it on Putin. It's all Russia's fault. LOL. Well, that's the truth. That's a federal wildlife officer that just drove by on the other side of the trail there. I didn't even know federal wildlife officers existed. I guess they have federal wildlife officers. I guess they have feds now in the wilderness. I learn something new every day. That truck on the side said Federal Wildlife Officer. Okay. Well, welcome to Redwood City. I don't know if I consider this wildlife. Well, it kind of is, but, you know, I would figure you would see those wildlife officers more like on hiking trails or more, you know, rural areas. Fake news, says Portnoy. There's a lot of fake news put on by both Fox News and CNN. Fox News leaning more right and CNN leaning more left. They both make shit up for ratings and to sell commercials. So we already know that that's irrelevant to this conversation, bro. It really is. Anna, some women like that. Okay, yeah, some women like TRADCONs. That's fine. I'm not here to tell you what to like and not to like. I'm just saying, you know, I mean, when you're in a relationship, Anna, when you're in a relationship, or at least when I'm in a relationship, I enjoy being with that person because we're like best friends. And I expect nothing from them. They expect nothing from me, but together we just figure things out and we're happy together. I'm not trying to flex my muscles on her. She's not trying to flex her feminine muscles on me. We just enjoy each other's company, right? I don't expect her to be subservient to me, okay? She doesn't expect me to be dominant to her. We just blend well together. Yes, I'm a man and she's a woman, but we don't have any expectations, you know, of what was created in the past, traditional gender roles. Now, do I believe in traditional gender roles? You know what? My opinion on gender roles have changed over the last 5 years. I honestly don't believe in them at all. I honestly believe that both men and women should be sharing in the household chores equally, right? I feel everything nowadays, and it should have always kind of been this way, that both men and women should have always helped each other out equally, right? But it used to be the man works, the woman's at home raising the kids, keeping the home clean, cooking the dinner, right? And then the man comes home, sits on his ass, and the woman serves him, right? And then the man does nothing around the house. That's the woman's job, right? You know, me being in a relationship today, and the way I've always been, I've always loved working alongside my woman, and she's loved working alongside me, which is what I'm trying to say, right? We're a team. We're a team that equally respects each other, and we work well together at an equal level, as equal as possible. Now, biologically, men and women are different. I get that. And I may be more capable at certain things than her, but she's probably going to be more capable at other things than I am. And together we make a great team, right? But I don't feel the need to ever flex my muscles to any woman, right? So with my woman, I don't feel the need to ever flex my muscles. And she doesn't feel the need to flex hers on me. At times, when we have disagreements, we talk about them in respectful and mature ways, like grown-ass adults. Does she test my masculine strength every now and then? Sure. And at that point, I may end up being a little more dominant, but I'm dominant in a loving and respectful way. And then things get back down to normal. You know, I want to look at my woman as a life partner and as a best friend, not as a slave or a servant to my masculinity, right? And that's just how I am. Independent of what anyone else thinks, that's just how I am. Like, if a woman was going to be so subservient to me, right, and kiss my ass and do everything that I told her to do, I would get bored. That's not fun to me, right? I like a little bit of a challenge. I like a woman that's going to try to push my buttons every now and then. You know why? Because it allows me to be a man, right? I don't want the perfect woman, right? I just want someone that wants to be themselves and wants someone on the flip side that is themselves, because I am nothing but myself, and I'm only seeking I've got her now, but I was only seeking a woman that was completely herself, and my woman is completely herself. She's very honest. Obviously, she's been sharing her story publicly lately. And I respect that, and I think a lot more people are starting to more so respect her and me because of what we're doing out here now, and how, we're sharing our relationship as an example of what a good relationship is like. Now, again, you might have, a different way of doing things. Some people are into kink. Some people are into dominance and submission. I mean, there are people that are into that crazy stuff, and I'm not. And that's not what I teach here. But even though that's not what I primarily teach, I help people get what they want, not tell them what to do. I'm just speaking on how the masses are typically. When I put out my content, I speak on behalf of what I feel the masses are seeking. And then if other people throw in their 2 cents, then I address that as well too. And again, I say, look, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to help you get what you want. Joe Biden was hiding in his basement. Come on, Michael Portnoy, you're being ridiculous, dude. Joe Biden was not hiding in his basement, dude. Joe Biden was on the front lines before he even got inaugurated. And so was Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris or any other woman that's run for president would have been a better candidate than Donald Trump ever was. Listen, I'm not here to argue the Trump supporters, right? Trump's got about 70 million supporters in this country, right? But just because I'd say 20 to 25% of the people in this country, the U.S., support Trump, you think that's enough to get back in the office? You think that's enough to change things in the way that Donald Trump thinks they should be? No, it's not. The only way that guy's going to ever win again is if he cheats. That's just my opinion. If he cheats and finds a way to play the system like he typically does with everything, or he accuses other people of cheating, that may be his only way. But legitimately, Donald Trump, I don't think will ever, ever, ever get back in the office. My opinion. No way. Let's see. Listen, dude, I'm not here to talk about Hunter Biden, and there have been many stories regarding Biden's son. And I'm sure if Hunter did something wrong, he would have been arrested for it. Okay? And I think they're still looking into that. But I'm not here to talk about Hunter Biden. Like, this is the problem with politics, right? When you have a good president doing good things, the other side tries to look deeply into them, kind of like YouTube trolls do. They do a background check. Oh, well, let's see. We can't get to Joe Biden, so let's go attack his son and say his son is a criminal, right? And whether he's a criminal or not is not the point. The point of the matter is that's what people do when they can't knock you down because you're doing great, and you're the one that dethroned their Donald Trump Messiah. That's what people do. They attack the people you care about to get to you. So whether whatever is happening to Hunter is true or not is irrelevant. It's pathetic that people get jealous of the frontline person, in this case, Joe Biden. That's all I'm saying, right? And here's the thing. What's even more funny is that Donald Trump's more of a crook than Hunter Biden will ever be if he's even found guilty, right? You think Donald Trump has his hands clean? Let's be real here. If we're going to attack people or criticize people of wrongdoing, let's be clean ourselves, right? If you're going to say other people are dirty, you better have clean hands. That's all I'm saying. I cannot stand hypocrites that criticize other people for not being clean, yet their hands aren't clean either. Come on, give me a fucking break. Seriously. Hypocrites, man. Hypocrites. Joe Biden is the most corrupt politician ever. Well, Michael, that's what Trump supporters say. Michael, I used to ban people like you that are unreasonable, because right now you're being unreasonable, but I'm not going to ban you because I don't do that anymore. Right? I'll let you have your say and let you sink yourself. I'm not going to sit here and go down the list of things that Joe Biden's done that Donald Trump would not have done. Because I will tell you this. If Trump got reelected, we would still be having an issue with the pandemic. Here we are, 2 years later, and all mask mandates have been removed, and life is back to normal. You think Donald Trump would have fixed it? He would have kept on going golfing every damn day. Come on, dude. How is Joe Biden the most corrupt politician ever? I mean, how? Give me some examples. Right? And tell me things that he's been convicted of, not accused of, right? If you folks are going to come at somebody, show them something that they've been convicted of, not accused, right? It's hilarious, man. This is funny. It's funny to me. Anna Rom, I respect that more than a man that sniffs and touches children. I don't know where that came from, Anna. I'm going to have to use the restroom here in a second, folks. Before I hit the observation deck. I'm going to go off the air and I will be back in just a few minutes, folks. Do not done with the first side. We're going to be heading over to the observation deck. And on the way back, I'll share more of my thoughts regarding what is considered a well-balanced modern man compared to a traditional conservative man or a TRADCON. Let's see here. Well, that's the great thing about opinions. None of them are right for everyone, but our opinions are right for us. Sure. Anna says, that's the way J-Ram and I are. He doesn't expect anything of me, and he's my best friend. Michael Portnoy says, Joe Biden is senile, and you know it, and Dr. Jill is his caregiver. Dude, Michael Portnoy, I'm just going to be honest with you, bro. You know, people that speak that way about people are very immature and insecure people, man. Like, seriously, dude. Are you going to sit here and be a part of those groups of people that criticize someone? Yeah, he's a bit older. Yeah, every now and then he slurs his speech. But he's a very well-educated man. He's a very professional man. And he carries himself very well. Right? You see, here's the thing, Michael Portnoy. If you're going to talk shit about Joe Biden, in essence, you're also saying the same thing about my woman without realizing it, because my woman, you know, sometimes slurs her speech and stuff because of some medical conditions, right? Now, is that the most respectful, professional, and mature way of handling things, Michael Portnoy? I'm picking on you today because this is how immature many people handle things. You know, yeah, you can have your opinion. You could say, hey, you know, I think that Joe Biden is not the right fit. I don't think that, you know, he's you know, the most mentally capable person of doing this job, but hey, it is what it is, right? But instead, you guys say he's senile. You guys say some other words I won't say here that will demonetize me or get me removed from YouTube, and I don't want to go there. But you guys are attacking the guy like you're little kids. You know, teasing your grammar school friends in the sandbox, right? That's a problem I have with people nowadays, especially most men that respond that way, dude. There's a more mature way of voicing your opinion, right? That's all I'm saying. The election party, the election was stolen. No, it was not. No, it was not, man. You're being ridiculous, Portnoy. Portnoy, you're being really ridiculous. It's all fabricated. It's all instigated drama. Yeah, Michael Portnoy, I got to tell you, bro, my spidey sense is really, really, really sensing you're trolling. You've always been a troll. And my spidey sense has always been right about people. You're kind of really pushing the boundaries right now, Michael Portnoy. You're saying things in ways to, kind of take a lick at me, but you're doing it very subtly. But I'm that intuitive to pick up on that, Michael Portnoy. And quite frankly, I'll be honest with you. I'm not here to ban anybody like I used to, but you're wearing my patience and keeping you around very thin. Seriously. Because I think you're a phony, Michael Portnoy. I think you're a phony. And you're just here to instigate shit. And to see how long you could last, for the other side. I served 2 freaking tours and I know something about DRE and fair elections. Yeah, but here's the thing, Michael Portnoy. Look at how you're addressing the situation. You're doing it no differently than any other alt-right person that claims to be a conservative. Like, honestly, dude, you're not a conservative. You're a fake conservative. You're on the alt-right. Because here's the thing. I can sit here and have a civil conversation with you and disagree and speak a lot more proper and professionally and maturely than you have. You're no different than any other person that's calling Joe Biden senile, right? Now listen, I never criticized Trump on his, mental abilities or anything like that. I criticized him on his actual duties as a president. He sucked as a president. He didn't take care of the pandemic. He incited the insurrection, right? He tried to overturn Section 220 of the Communications Decency Act, which would have screwed up social media companies, and we might not have had YouTube here today because of what Trump was trying to do, right? So I never criticized somebody on slurred speech and shit like that. I criticize them based on what they do or don't do. There's somebody coming here, and they're coming pretty fast. And they're probably going to come up here. So I'm just going to move up the side and let them come up. Okay. All right, I'm not playing this game anymore. I'm not. Moderators, please respect my decision. I'm not playing this game anymore. I'm not. I'm very intuitive and I know when people are bullshitting me. Nice try. And by the way, I do have an open mind. Everything I speak about is openly and honestly. And I'm very fair. I'm very fair between all parties, left, right, down the middle. I'm a fair person. What I'm not going to tolerate are people that are unreasonable, are people that attack instead of discuss, right? You're going to call Joe Biden, if you're going to attack his slurred speech and shit like that, in essence, you're attacking him and you're violating one of my major rules here to be able to chat and participate here. Right? That's one of my rules that you have to agree to before you chat here. It pops up in the live stream chat under my chat guidelines section. Voice your opinion, but do it respectfully, professionally, and maturely. I'm not here to debate, I'm here to discuss. We're here to have discussions and learn from each other and help each other out. All right. Let me see here. You mean look into him like they did Trump? They can look into him all they want. They can look into anybody all they want. Listen, there's nothing wrong in looking into anybody, right? Because if somebody's doing something wrong, whether it's Biden, Joe Biden, his son Hunter, whether it's Donald Trump, or any of his kids, right? Or anyone else, in government, right? Everyone should be looked at and investigated equally, right? So I'm all for, equality in every way, even in our government. So yeah, if they want to investigate Joe Biden, go for it. If he's done something wrong and it's proven, then that's fine. Then it'll change my opinion. But until that happens, put up or shut your mouth, right? Right? The things I talk about are things that have been proven, that have been publicly put out there. I don't talk about anything that hasn't been publicly put out there, right? The things that some people on the alt-right put out are conspiracy theories that have never been proven. Period. Conspiracy theories that have never been proven, right? And then these people complain on why YouTube shuts them down for misinformation, because that's what it is. It's fucking misinformation. It's misinformation because it never happened. It's called a conspiracy theory. In my opinion, conspiracy theories, or the word or the phrase conspiracy theory, is a phrase to try to legitimize making shit up that suits your own agenda. Just because you label it a conspiracy theory doesn't give you a free pass to blast out BS that could harm a bunch of people on social media platforms. That's my opinion. What's yours? I actually agree. You can't label half the country as extreme right without admitting the other half is extreme left. I'm not labeling half the country alt-right or extreme right. I'm saying there's about 20 to 25% of the people that support Trump and they're the alt-right. That's not half the country, right? And a lot of the real conservatives out there, they don't support Trump. The non-alt-right conservatives, there are conservatives out there, Jerome, that don't support Trump. And there are probably some liberals out there that don't support Biden, to be fair, on the flip side, right? Now let's continue here. Let's get back to what we were talking about. We talked about TRADCONs, traditional conservative men, and how they were, right? And how some guys are still trying to live that type of lifestyle in 2022 when things are totally different nowadays, right? And even if I was raised during that time, like I mentioned earlier, I could never treat a woman as a slave or expect her to be fully subservient to me. Even back in those days of traditionalism, because I've always looked at women that I've dated, someone that I'm with, as my partner, as my right-hand person, and I'm their right-hand person. We're a team. We're on the same team, right? And we are equal. We equally respect each other, right? Now, again, like I always say, men and women are biologically different, but from the standpoint of everything else outside of being biologically different, we are completely equal. And we should respect each other in that way. And I've only been with women that respect me at the same level I respect them. And there's no way I could respect any woman that was subservient to me 100% of the time and felt the need to kiss my ass and suck my dick and do other shit just to keep me happy. I could never respect a woman like that. I respect the woman that stands on her own and has her own individuality to bring into the relationship, and that's what my woman does. And even if I lived in the 1950s or before that time, that's how I would look at it, right? Now, as far as being a well-balanced man nowadays, what's a well-balanced man? I've talked about this before. I'll share it again for comparison purposes. Okay? A well-balanced man is going to have some traditional, core values, traditional morals, values, and ethics, right? Nothing wrong with some traditional stuff being carried forward, right? But he's also going to be able to balance that out through his partner. And she'll be able to balance things out on her end towards him as well. A well-balanced man should not have to feel the need to be an arrogant, pompous ass and be the controller and be dominating everything. But at the same time, a well-balanced man cannot, and I repeat, cannot be a big freaking sissy. A beta male, a submissive male. A well-balanced man cannot be submissive most of the time and cannot be a beta male and should not put women on a pedestal and should not suck up to a woman. A well-balanced man is right in the middle. A well-balanced man, first and foremost, respects himself and loves himself and is purpose-driven and purpose-focused. He's not initially focused on women. When a man is focused on their purpose in life, women will come to him and notice him, and they'll chase him. A well-balanced man will not chase women. He'll let the women come to him, right? Okay? A well-balanced man is going to do his part in the relationship. He's going to be open to doing things that were once only known as things that traditional conservative women would do from back in the days of traditionalism, right? Before women were liberated. Okay? He's going to be open to helping her doing household chores and things around the house and things that once were only known as things that women would do. On the flip side, a well-balanced woman is going to help her man as best as possible do certain things that in the past only men would do, right? Okay, up to the point of whatever she's capable of doing, right? And whatever she's not capable of doing physically to help the man, she'll make up for it in other ways, right? A well-balanced man is going to be emotionally strong, emotionally secure, and emotionally intelligent, and know how to have a great level of emotional self-control to offset the emotions of his woman. And he's going to be emotionally supportive of his woman, because that's what she needs from him. On the flip side, a well-balanced woman is going to provide that nurturing love to that man, and that, nurturing love that balances out a man's rough masculinity. My woman does that quite well. When my woman sees me dealing with certain things that she feels kind of is starting to bring a rage into me, because us men, even though you may not see us publicly behave this way, sometimes in private, our anger monkeys build up, and we talk about these things with our lady, right? And when our lady senses that, a good, well-balanced lady, when she senses that we're going through this, and she feels us, about to get some anger monkeys or let some anger monkeys come out, she will calm us down with her sweet, loving, kind, caring nature and balance us out, right? And tone down that rough masculinity by being supportive in a very nurturing way. A well-balanced man, like I mentioned earlier, is going to see his lady as his partner, and his lady will also see her man as her partner equally, right? Again, we are biologically different, right? Biologically, we're different, and in most cases, men and women have different biological capabilities, but from a standpoint of everything else, equal rights and respect and all of that, we are equal, right? A well-balanced man is going to look at his woman as his best friend and best lover. He's not looking at his woman as just a friend, because a woman would never respect you in a romantic way if you allowed her to friend zone you. But here's the thing: once you have a romantic relationship, you've been intimate with your partner, and you're in love with each other romantically, they should automatically become your best friend. My woman is my best friend, and I'm her best friend, right? A well-balanced man is not going to feel the need to control his woman in any way, shape, or form. A well-balanced man is not going to feel the need to tell a woman what to do, especially these modern women, right? Try telling any one of these modern women what to do and see what happens, right? But even going back to the days of traditionalism, I would have never told a woman what to do, because if I then I'm with the wrong woman, because the right woman is going to already know what to do. And all right, folks, sorry, got cut off. All right, folks, sorry, got cut off. Sorry, we got cut off, but we're back. Before I got cut off, there are men out there that feel the need to tell women what to do. If you feel the need to demand a woman to do something or tell her what to do in a demanding way, then you're a very insecure man, and you're probably very mentally and emotionally unstable. And I don't consider you a real man if you're like that. This is just in my opinion. You folks have yours, I have mine, right? You know, the strawman is probably Michael Portnoy on a different account. I don't have a problem answering that question, and I will. I shouldn't answer it, but that's you, Portnoy, right? My father was a very well-balanced man. A very well-balanced man. And so was his father. And my mother's parents, my mother's father was very well-balanced. I was fortunate to come from a family where the man and the woman in the marriage, whether it be my grandparents on either side, right, or my parents, they were all well-balanced. My mother and father equally respected each other. How do you think I was raised to be this way? I'm not saying I'm all that, but I was raised pretty well, and I feel fortunate. I feel fortunate, and this is what I'm trying to help other people learn to understand to better their lives, right? My father did not treat my mother like a slave. But my mother was also raised during a time where women were raised to be homemakers. But you have to also understand, at the same time, women were just becoming liberated, right? My mother was born in 1950. And that was right around the time, shortly after that, is when women started to become liberated and things started to change, right? But despite that, my father and all the men on my father's side of the family and my mother's side of the family were all good, well-balanced men that were not only respectful to other men, were also respectful to other women. The men in my family, both on my mother's side and father's side, never disrespected people. And the men never disrespected the women. They really appreciated and valued everything the women did. My father took care of my mother and worked hard 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, sometimes 16 hours a day, right? To put my brother and I through the best schools, to live in one of the best areas on the planet, etc., right? And yes, my mother did the cooking and the cleaning. But my father was never demanding to her and fully respected her and took care of her. And then because my father was 18 years older than my mother, when my father started to have back issues and before he passed away, for the last, 20 plus years of my father's life, my mother started working. Started working for the county of San Mateo, here where we live, and she had great benefits. Government benefits are the best, and that helped out the family and my father. It saved my father and her lots of money in medical expenses. She did her part. They equally respected each other, right? But my father never, ever tried to dominate my mother, and my mother never tried to one-up my father. Did they have their moments? Sure, every couple does. But they always respected each other no matter what happened. My mother always trusted my father would be there and find a way to, provide for us no matter what happened. And there were some times where my father could have lost it all. And he fought through it, and my mother had faith in him and supported him through thick and thin. Nowadays, what happens? A guy goes through a little hardship and the woman is gone. She's out the fucking door, right? That's why it's important to equally respect each other. And both the man and the woman to be both well balanced. Not trying to one up each other. Right? Not trying to control each other. Instead, work together as a happy team. Does that answer your question? The strawman, which I believe is probably Michael Portnoy, since he got banned on his main account for violating my rules of attacking. Let me reset the chat here real quick, folks. I think it froze. All right, we're back live. All right. I'll be right back, folks. My chat is frozen. Hang on. I don't know why. Folks, I'll be right back. I'm not able to access my chat. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. We are back. In the modern world, you have a choice of how you want to live your life. You have a choice what kind of man you want to be, and you also have a choice what kind of woman you want to be. Women's lib or not, you all have choices, right? You need to find what works for you, right? Different strokes for different folks. I get that, right? But when I share my thoughts about what I feel is the best way to live life based on my experiences, I'm speaking, number one, based off of my experiences. Number two, I'm speaking of what the masses typically enjoy, right? Okay? Because most people that I cater my content to are average everyday men and women that just want to find true love and happiness amongst each other. And every now and then you get some people in between that are into some kinky stuff, kink, and more of a dom sub type of relationship. You know, there are people that are into crazy stuff nowadays, and that's your choice, that's your prerogative. What I teach here on my channel and through my coaching business, I teach the normal stuff. You know, I teach the normal stuff, you know, plain, regular, vanilla, you know, male and female relationship dynamic, you know, type of relationships. Give me a second here. Yep, choose to be submissive to my man. That's what makes me happiest. Well, that's cool, Anna. I mean, anger monkeys, that's a new one. Anger monkeys was a phrase that came from the movie Anger Management with Jack Nicholson and Adam Sandler. Remember that? The anger monkeys. Okay. I think I'm only going to do one side of the trail today because I'm getting a little bit tired, to be honest with you folks, and I've been working my ass lately. I've had some private calls to take. I've been coaching some people privately. Been talking with my woman. Did 2 shows yesterday. We were helping Dion in the private chat earlier today, and I put a lot of energy into that. Now I'm doing this show, so I'm not going to overly push myself. Time to take a little bit of a rest. And before I continue here for the last 15 minutes or so of this show, until I get to the end of the trail, I want to let you folks know that tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on the Mad Shangy 2 channel, I'm going to be going live with the Mad Shangy, and we're going to be catching up. Hey, buddy. Nice little doggy there. Shangy and I are going to be catching up, and hopefully, making a, permanent peace. I've had my experiences with the Mad Shangy over the last 5 years, but I've never really had any issues with them. We just were pinned and pitted against each other by certain other people on this platform that neither one of us are, or either one of us are no longer involved with. So I really feel this could end up becoming a good collaboration, a great collaboration. And he's got great speaking skills, and he knows how to interview people. And he's got a lot of great contacts too. And by the way, Shangy, I mentioned this on my stream last night on Coach Eli 2. Your Mad Shangy Army 2 account has been banned from both channels, and you've been moderated here on this channel and my other channel, both channels of mine, Coach Eli, Elias Melas here, where this is at right now, and then Coach Eli 2 Uncensored Live Streams. You have moderator wrenches on both those channels from your Mad Shangy Army 2 account. Now, if you start using a different account as your main one, I will add moderation tools for you on those channels as necessary. I typically don't like to moderate, multiple channels from one creator. It's hard to manage that way. Maybe 1 or 2, but I think Shangy has like 5 channels. And I'm just not the kind of person that's going to moderate one person on 5 different channels, It's just, you got to have some control in case one of your mods go rogue and something goes wrong. You got to have some kind of control, so that's why I do that. But yeah, tomorrow 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on the Mad Shangy Army 2 channel. All right. Besides that, I believe I've said everything I need to say here today. So I'm going to end up ending this stream right now. Got maybe another 10 minutes left on my walk. And I haven't heard from Dion. So looks like there's going to be no show on Coach Eli 2 tonight. I'm just going to take the rest of the day off and relax. I'm probably not going to be that active also in the Coach Eli moderator group page, in case anybody's wondering. I just need a day of rest because tomorrow is going to be another busy day. I'll be doing a walking stream tomorrow, probably earlier than normal, maybe even, in the morning time here, before noon Pacific. And then at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, I'll be going on the Mad Shangy show. And anyone else I believe is welcome to come, like Coach J. Ram and some other people, maybe another one of the mods here that's also good friends with Shangy. The Adventures with JT channel, Jonathan Tuttle, JT. I got to reach out to him, but it should be a good show, and I'll share the link to that particular stream I'm going on tomorrow on Shangy's channel on both of my community tabs here on my main channel, Coach Eli, Elias Melas, and my other channel, Coach Eli 2 Uncensored Live Streams. I'm going to shut down the chat and see if there are any final messages. Hey guys, Sifu Smo's here. Came in late, got off work. Well, welcome Sifu Smo, aka Dion. We're about to go off the air here, but thank you for stopping by. Anna says, have a nice evening. All right, just had to scroll through the chat one last time. All right, folks. Have yourselves a great one. Take care. And see you tomorrow. And as always, be good to each other.